Come with me as I take you to some of my favorite cities on a long weekend. Buongiorno tutti! Together we'll explore the places I love. Oh, Palermo, what a beauty you are. Oh, my word, Madrid is next to heaven. And discover places new. We put the vroom vroom into Milano. Oh my, this is astonishing. From Stockholm to Lisbon, we'll raise a glass,
Sold.
and enjoy great food. Pork that melts in your mouth. I don't think there's any delicate way of eating it.
Oh, absolutely.
We'll leave the tourist trail behind. Every bone in my body has been shaken. My goodness, we are on the ice.
Yes.
Oh, my word. We are tacking. And seek out special places to stay. The view of Prague is magnificent. Along the way, we'll make new friends. Do you mind if we do a selfie?
Really?
And memories to last a lifetime. I think I shall always remember this. This is a beautiful moment. I have rarely seen such opulence. What an amazing sight. I am loving this. I can't wait to show you more. Come with me on a long weekend in one of my favorite cities. A place that set my heart racing since I was a boy. The Spanish capital, Madrid. A short flight from Britain, Madrid is located in the heart of Spain. Renowned as a city that never sleeps. It attracts nearly 10 million visitors every year. The British make up the largest number, touching down at Barajas Airport. Always a special moment for me, the moment of arrival. Aviation fuel in my nostrils, particularly at an airport like this of brilliant modern architecture. And ahead of me, a city with limitless opportunities for discovery. I adore Madrid. I cannot count how often I've had the thrill of returning since my first visits in the 1960s. Madrid, here I come. Over 3 days, I'll show you why it's the perfect destination for a long weekend. I'll take you to the city's best restaurants, hotels, and cafes. This is such a beautiful shop. It's like stepping back in time into the 19th century. Together, we'll discover the city's secrets. Aha! Like Alice through the looking glass. For the culture vultures, there's opera. Welcome to the Teatro Real of Madrid. And there's fashion. Oh! My goodness. Madrid was designated Spain's capital in 1561. Today, it's home to over 3 million people, the Spanish Parliament and monarchy, and one of the world's most successful football teams. Welcome to the roar and bustle of Madrid. Whether in medieval alleyways or broad 20th century boulevards, life here is lived on the streets, and that continues throughout the night. I like to be at the heart of a city, where there are theatres and cinemas and museums, where the politics takes place, the thrills of the metropolis. For me, a major pleasure of any long weekend away is the food. And here in Madrid, you're truly spoilt for choice. With around 10,000 restaurants, from home-grown tapas to the finest cuisines from around the world. For the first meal of this long weekend, let's head to the Old Town. One of the loveliest squares in Madrid, La Plaza Mayor, and this has been a public space since time immemorial. In the painted house, they used to set the price of bread so that even the poorest people in society could afford a loaf. Today, this area is buzzing with cafes, bars, and restaurants. Just off the square is a revered institution, steeped in the rich heritage of the city. I love to come here, and it's always booked. So I'm beating the lunchtime rush to be in before the kitchen is busy. I've just walked through one of my favourite doors in Madrid. According to the Guinness Book of Records, this is the oldest restaurant in the world. And I've walked into history. Look at these lovely painted wooden panels, the pictures blackened by the passage of time. Sobrino de Botín is a culinary phenomenon. Opened in 1725, the restaurant is famed for its food. And its wood-fired oven holds a record, having never been extinguished, apparently, during 300 years of service. The menu has changed little in that time and celebrates the most iconic of Spanish dishes. Vegetarians might want to look away now. Hello. May I come in?
Hola.
Hola. My name is Michael.
We welcome, sir. Michael, I'm Robel.
It's lovely to see you, Rael. My goodness, you're surrounded by suckling pigs.
Yes.
And this is your traditional dish here.
Yes, 300 tradition.
That's amazing. 300 years
Yeah.
of suckling pigs. The oven is fantastic. A wood-fired oven.
The oven is 300 years old.
My
this
goodness.
oven.
And obviously, this is the perfect temperature.
Sure, it's 280 centigrade.
Right.
Until 300.
And do you measure that? Do you have a thermometer, or is it just
Thermometer only here. Only
with your hand?
yeah, the hands.
Your hand tells you
Your hands also.
whether it's the right temperature. How amazing. The pork is cooked now exactly as it was 300 years ago. Same recipe. I'm going to count his fingers after this. Same method. And in the same oven. May I try to put the suckling pig back? Here we go. It's an honour to prepare my own lunch on this hallowed ground. In go the chopped pieces, just for a final roast. Roel, thank you so much. My mouth is watering, really.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. You're welcome.
Ironically, this most Spanish of restaurants was established by a Frenchman, hence the French-looking name Botín, before it passed to a Spanish family. With my stomach rumbling, I'm ready for an early lunch. So, you're not meant to eat the entire suckling pig for yourself. It divides into 6 portions, and I have my portion with potatoes. Gracias, Luis. I have been to El Botín quite a lot, because if you want to show off old Madrid, this is where you bring people into these historic subterranean chambers. And the roast suckling pig is supposedly the best that can be had. It melts in your mouth. Pork that melts in your mouth. There are at least 2 Madrids. There's the Madrid of old history, which is narrow, winding streets and alleyways and restaurants like this. And then there's a Madrid that was built in the 19th and 20th centuries, which is great wide boulevards. And in those areas, there's a huge gastronomic scene. They're always opening new restaurants. And a lot of the cuisine is very adventurous. Although I think what links the old and the new is the Spanish obsession with good ingredients. So basically good meat, basically good fish and seafood. And the Spanish eat vast quantities of both meat and fish and seafood. And you may ask, well, how do they do that? Well, One of the things is they don't eat many vegetables and they don't eat sauces. They rely on the taste of the absolutely superb basic product. During its long history, this kitchen has fed many notables and celebrities. Even that Spanish painter Francisco Goya is said once to have worked here washing up. Using brushes, I wonder? On your long weekend, I'd also recommend seeking out the little visited chapel where Goya was buried, on the outskirts of the city centre. A visit here brings you up against a great unsolved mystery. When Goya's body was returned to Spain in 1919, his head was missing. Some think that his skull was removed for study. Others that it is buried next to the body of a woman who was both his subject and lover. Where the truth and his head lie remains undiscovered to this day, unlike his body of art that cannot be topped. It's early afternoon on our first day in Madrid. I'm visiting in the autumn, when the days are cooler than the baking summer months, and there's still plenty of blue sky and sunshine. Our next destination is a short stroll into the heart of the old town. One of the loveliest squares in Madrid, La Plaza Mayor, and this has been a meeting place since time immemorial. Here there have been markets, coronations, and the burning of heretics in a ritual known as an auto da fe. The whole square was rebuilt with his marvellous uniformity, with his colonnade, by King Philip III, and he's rewarded with an equestrian statue. A much-loved local business was born here in the mid-19th century. A master confectioner from Alicante set up a market stall selling a Spanish nougat called turrón. It proved so popular that in 1855 he relocated to a nearby shop, which is still doing a brisk trade today. And no matter how little time you have on your long weekend here, I recommend a visit. This is such a beautiful shop. It's like stepping back in time into the 19th century. Everything has been beautifully preserved. And here is the confection on display. This is turrón, the Spanish nougat. And under the picture of its founder, Luis Mira, is his descendant, Carlos. Hello, Carlos.
Encantado. Es mi tatarabuelo.
This is my great-great-grandfather.
Lo bonito de eso es que son 6 generaciones de padres, hijos, abuelas, hijas, haciéndolo como se ha hecho siempre, de la misma manera. Gente de toda España que viene a Madrid a comprar nuestro turrón.
It's thought that turrón, a mixture of honey, sugar, egg whites and almonds, was first brought to southern Spain by the conquering Muslims in the early Middle Ages. I'm to join the head chef in the kitchen and discover some sticky secrets. Joaquín.
Hola, ¿qué tal?
Soy Michael.
Yo Kirin.
Encantado. I'm just amazed that you're making the turrón at such a small scale.
Sí, es escala pequeña porque somos tradicionales.
Sí.
Hacemos el turrón como hace muchos años, con las mismas recetas.
Bueno, ¿y cómo se empieza? How do
Pues
you
mira,
start?
el agua,
A little bit of water to begin with.
sí,
Muy bien.
echamos aquí.
Adelante. This is a heavy pot of honey. Where's the honey from?
La miel es de romero y es una de las mejores mieles que hay.
Looks absolutely gorgeous. ¿Cuánto tiempo llevas aquí, Guinea? How long have you worked
Aquí
here?
llevo desde el año 74,
I've been here since 1974,
unos 48 años,
about 48 years. ¿Qué edad tenías entonces?
14.
14 when you started, my goodness. So you're getting used to it here.
Demasiado.
I know the place too well, he says. 9 kilos of honey, 9 kilos of sugar, and a drop of water, and we have a lovely boiling mix ready to make the turrón.
Sí.
Now we're going to
Vale.
stir it over heat.
Sí.
I got hit by a piece of flying hot honey. Whew. While the honey mixture bubbles away, there are almonds to be toasted. How old is this machine?
150 años.
A 150-year-old machine.
Muy vieja.
Pero sirve, no?
Sí, sí, sigue, sigue.
It does the job. Y estas almendras, where are they from?
De Gijona.
Gijona,
Sí. La cuna del turrón.
which is the very cradle, the very heart of turrón making. Así, ¿no?
Sí.
No. Siento, hay unas cuantas
Nada,
en el suelo.
no pasa nada. Esos son cafés del oficio.
Bien. Gracias, Kino.
Nada.
We're just settling the almonds down, just like a big football raffle. Muy bien. Let there be fire. Switch on the motor.
Sí.
Almonds being toasted by a machine that is a century and a half old. If I was looking for tradition, I think I found it at Casamira. Once the ground almonds are added along with egg whites, the turrón is compressed and chilled overnight.
El turrón de Alicante. Tradicional.
Anda. Muy bueno.
Me encanta.
Really is very, very good. Obviously, it's extremely sweet and crunchy. You really taste the quality of the ingredients. Es estupendo.
Muy bien.
Todavía te gusta a ti.
Así.
On my early visits to Madrid, Spain was under the dictatorship of General Franco and suspicious of much of the outside world. Now, almost 50 years since his death, this city has become one of Europe's most popular destinations. On any long weekend here, I'd highly recommend visiting one of Spain's most impressive national buildings. Located at the opposite end of the Gran Via, it covers 135,000 square meters and has nearly 3,500 rooms. It opens to the public 360 days of the year. The Royal Palace of Madrid is huge. It dwarfs many other royal palaces in Europe. And unlike, say, Buckingham Palace in London, which is set in a fashionable residential district, this is positioned on high ground, dominating the valley beyond. And the reasons, both for its vastness and for its location, take us to the origins of Madrid as a city and as a capital. Over the centuries, the palace has been adapted, extended, and repurposed. It was originally an Islamic fortress when much of Spain was under Muslim rule. Following a devastating fire in 1734, a wholly different building took shape. It is truly spectacular in scale, luxury, and decoration. Oh, what grandeur, what elegance. Oh my word, I have rarely seen such opulence. This is one of the most richly decorated palaces in the world. Everything from the marble floors to the painted ceilings. Just one magnificent room after another. Here, portraits by Francisco de Goya, one of the greatest Spanish masters. Everything speaks of extraordinary wealth. Ana de la Cueva, the president of Spain's national heritage, guides me through it. And in the palace we have one magnificent room after another. This is superb, the throne room. And this suggests that although the Spanish royal family doesn't live in this palace, it is very much used for royal events.
Yes, it's being used almost every week. We have a lot of official ceremonies here. It is a palace that has a lot of life.
Do their majesties sit upon these thrones?
Our monarchs never sit. They wait respectfully here, standing for the guest.
There are many parallels between the British and Spanish monarchies, of course. One is that the British got rid of their monarchy for 12 years. They cut the head off the king. We didn't necessarily expect the restoration of the monarchy, and many people in Spain didn't expect the restoration of the monarchy, but here it is.
With the democracy, I think that was a good combination. The Spanish monarchy has incorporated some modern attitudes. All the work of arts belong to the state, belong to the public. In the UK, if I am not mistaken, all these assets belong personally to King Charles III.
I think also the Spanish royal family is slimmed down by comparison with the British royal family.
Yeah, I suppose so. I think that the royal family in Spain is just limited to the king, the queen, and their daughters.
Also, in some ways, less formal. I remember once I was sitting at a lunch in Madrid next to King Juan Carlos's sister. And I said to her, "Oh, when did you decide to come to this event?" She said, "Oh, my brother rang me up last night and said, would I come?" I said, "Last night?" I said, "In Britain, this would have been planned 2 years in advance." You know? Before leaving these sumptuous surroundings, I can't resist stepping out onto the royal balcony. In an egalitarian age and in a democracy, the question is, how do you justify displays of opulence and wealth like this royal palace? Well, in Spain, the royal palace belongs to the state. The royal family performs events and ceremonies which serve the state. In Spain in particular, where quite recently a king abdicated because of scandal, the royal family is very aware that it can remain in office only with the approval and acceptance of the Spanish people. Although Madrid has thoroughly modern buildings and transport links, many places resist any change, and that is their great charm. Welcome to the Gran Café Gijón, one of my favorite places. I was lucky enough years ago to discover the Café Cortado. That is a short coffee with just a dash of milk. It means you get away from those very long American black coffees. On the other hand, the milk takes the edge off the bitterness of the espresso. Most of the world is dominated by Italian coffees, like espresso, like ristretto, like cappuccino. But the Café Cortado is Spain's contribution to the world of caffeine. More than most places, Spanish restaurants and cafes are traditional in the way that the waiters present themselves. It's very typical for the waiter to be dressed quite formally in the white jacket, maybe with a black tie or black bow tie. And it's very common for waiters to be older and to have made a whole career out of being a waiter. They do it with great pride, and they do it very well. The first day of our long weekend in Madrid is almost at an end. So join me for a late afternoon stroll in one of the city's many green spaces. For the long weekender in Madrid, this park is very well named, El Retiro, the retreat. It's very green with its thousands of trees. But within the confines of the city, there are numerous parks, many much wilder and greener still, making Madrid, unexpectedly, one of the most sustainable cities in Europe. I've always enjoyed this park for its beautiful gardens and this sculpture of the fallen angel inspired by Milton's Paradise Lost. It's thought to be one of the few monuments anywhere dedicated to Satan, and it stands at 666 meters above sea level. Even when I'm surrounded by trees, I like to see beautiful buildings. And actually, my dream would be to have one of those apartments there with a balcony and great windows overlooking the park. As the sun sets on our first day, I'll take you to a favourite bar of mine. I've been coming to this bar for many years.
Buenas tardes, señor Portillo, ¿cómo está? Bienvenido a Hablarnos del Inglés.
Muchísimas gracias. Buenas tardes. Another of Madrid's fine hotel bars. Vale, gracias. It's soaked in the recent history of this city. This is the oldest hotel in Madrid, in place well before the First World War. And in the following decades, the bars of these luxury hotels were the place where journalists hung out and business people, naval and army officers, embassy officials, military attachés, courtesans, and spies. Madrid was a hotbed of spies, as Franco strove for power and throughout the Second World War. At the time, Hitler hoped for an alliance with the Spanish dictator, and the Allies were determined to stop him. Carlos, were you followed?
No, don't worry. The coast is clear.
My contact is Carlos, a man with expertise in espionage of the era.
Well, during the First and the Second World War, Spain was a neutral country. Being a neutral country allows a lot of spies activities. The Germans put a lot of effort in sending agents to Spain. In fact, they want Spain to join the Second World War.
Spain was sympathetic to the Nazis, to the Axis powers, and Britain was worried about Spain becoming a collaborator with the Nazis and very worried about Gibraltar.
Yeah, exactly. The promise of Hitler to Spain was to give Spain Gibraltar in exchange for the alliance to Germany.
The British naval base, the runway at Gibraltar, these were very important to the British war effort. Bars like this were the ideal meeting place for spies and their operatives. Busy, low lit, with plenty of entrances and exits. However, Carlos and I have chosen a poor position for our clandestine meeting.
Well, this is not the best place for a spy.
No.
Because you cannot control what is in your back. The spy will always sit with his back to a wall. They want a room with a lot of exits, so they cannot be trapped.
When I was a minister, I was involved in some political conspiracies, and the press wanted to know who I was meeting. And I found when I was traveling in my official car that I was being followed by a motorbike, which was a journalist. So I asked my car to go to Brown's Hotel. It has two entrances, one in Albemarle Street and one in Dover Street. So my car dropped me at the hotel. I went inside. Of course, the journalist waited outside. I went through the hotel into the other street, jumped in a taxi, and I was away.
Did you use any of these spycraft when you were in Madrid in the British Embassy?
Of course I did, but I cannot tell you. I'm starting the second day of my long weekend early and with an indulgence that every visitor should sample. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. It's just getting light. It's time for a little something. And people in Madrid like to have churros, which are fried batter which you dip in chocolate. And here's an old establishment that has been serving them a while. And there's a queue. In fact, I think there's been a queue since 1894. You can find churros all over the city. I've headed into the center of town, where down a tiny alleyway is a Madrid institution. Chocolateria San Ginés has been making the decadent Spanish breakfast with the same recipe for almost 130 years. The queue that I'm standing in is a great mixture of different nationalities, people very differently dressed. I think some people are here for their breakfast, some people are here because they've been up all night, because the churro, although it's mainly enjoyed for breakfast, is like the kebab in London. It's something that can be a hangover food. Buenos días.
Buenos días.
¿Qué tal?
Bien.
Una porción de churros, por favor, y un
¿Con
chocolate.
chocolate?
Con chocolate, sí, por favor.
5.90.
Muy bien. Gracias. I've often had churros at street food, a little stall set up on the pavement. Maybe one man and a woman with their boiling oil in front of you. This place, though, is an emporium, an institution. There's just one room after another, and this is churros on a virtually industrial scale. In the very modest kitchen, right beside the counter, they produce 4,000 churros a day, piping huge batter sausages into a scarily hot vat of oil. Possibly named after Spain's native churra sheep, whose horns resemble the ridge lengths of churros, their history is a bit uncertain. But whether churros were brought here from China by Portuguese traders or invented by nomadic shepherds as a substitute for bread, they've been enjoyed here for hundreds of years. Parece ser un trabajo duro, ¿eh?
Un poco duro.
Un poco duro. ¿Desde cuándo lo hace?
2001.
¿Le gusta venir por aquí por la mañana?
Son muy buenos los churros.
Ah, tienen fama, ¿eh?
De hace años.
Gracias. Oh, the chocolate is amazing. And the churro is crunchy and warm. When I was a kid, coming to Spain, going out for churros was a special treat. You know how smells are probably the most evocative of the senses, and the smell of the churros, the smell of that hot fat, just transports me back through time. I guess on the whole, you're not advised to eat a lot of fried food or a lot of sweet drinks, but you've got to do this when you're in Madrid. It's part of any long weekend. For the modern city Spaniard, dress is still very important, though there's less formality than in my youth. Still, one shop has been selling the same elegant accessory for over 100 years. If you want to cut a dash in classic Spanish tailoring, maybe a cape is the thing for you. Daniel, I'm Michael.
Hi, how are you?
I've come in search of old world elegance. It looks like I've come to the right place. Capes were first worn by the Spanish aristocracy in the 1500s and later became common attire for the masses. In 1901, tailor Santos Cesena set up business in Madrid. With the help of son Tomas, he updated the traditional garment while retaining its classic style. And his capes were appreciated by the rich and famous.
Hillary Clinton, we made a cape just for her that it was called after her the Hillary cape. And probably the most known is Picasso, the painter. And one of his death wishes was to be wrapped in one of her capes in the grave. So he's actually in the grave with with a Cesena cape.
Good heavens. What's this thing here?
So this is a catalog of the cape that, it's still the cape that we do. But you can see here how much it was before, which it was the old currency of Spain also.
So here's a cape which is between
300
300 and 500 pesetas. We're talking there about, oh goodness, just a few euros. almost nothing. How extraordinary. Today, the capes are made at the back of the shop by 3 expert tailors, including Carmen. The question is, do I have the style to pull off wearing one of her exquisite creations? Cuello, the collar.
Ah, perfecto.
Perfecto.
Sí. ¿Y ahora?
And now we need the highs.
115.
So your size is 115
Yes.
because the cape is supposed to go 3 full fingers below the knee.
Right. Do you know that already feels fantastic? I can't tell you how good that feels. I can't wait to see myself. Oh! My goodness. It makes an impact, doesn't it? Hace impacto.
Impresiona.
Impresiona, yes, it really... Oh, that's so beautiful. Pero, I'm just wondering whether I should try one that is colourful.
Let's
What do you
try. What I think is now you're gonna need to try this one. The inside out.
Inside out.
You take it by the collar and then half of a circle around your body.
Just like that.
Perfect. Almost perfect. Let me help you just here. There we go. Now we look like two Teletubbies.
Oh, that's beautiful. I want to be buried in one of these.
Just like Picasso.
Just like Picasso. I'm on a long weekend in the Spanish capital, Madrid. A city with medieval origins, which is today one of Europe's most exciting and modern. One of the things I love about Madrid is the early 20th century buildings, a time when surely the city was trying to emulate Chicago. They put up a skyscraper, which I think was the tallest in Europe at the time. And the buildings are so lavishly decorated, and on their tops an extravagance of domes and cupolas, pinnacles, finials, and statuary. Amongst European capitals, Madrid is rarely mentioned as the most beautiful. People say that its river lacks the grandeur of the Seine or the Thames or the Danube. My tip to you as you explore the streets is to take time to look up. You might be surprised at the ornamentation of the buildings that's both witty and stylish. A building that should be on your bucket list stands grandly opposite the opulent Royal Palace. Facing on to the Plaza de Oriente, this is Madrid's Opera House. I've been many times and enjoyed world-class productions. But today I'm here not for a performance, but to go behind the scenes. This spectacular theatre is open to the public 7 days a week, revealing the secrets of stagecraft. You should visit, even if opera's not your thing. Hello, Paloma.
Hello, Michael. How lovely to meet you.
Theatre coordinator Paloma reveals this palace of illusions. I'm so pleased to be back here. I mean, here we are with this glorious auditorium, very busy on stage at the moment, preparing for your production. Tell me, how long has the theatre been as it is today?
So as it is today, it was reopened in 1997 after a period of some years of renovation that started at the end of the 1980s.
The Opera House opened in 1850 and was one of Europe's finest. But a fire in 1867 left it damaged, and it was closed in 1925. With little money for repairs, it was 70 years before it reopened as an opera house. The grand auditorium was restored to recapture its 19th century splendor. But backstage, a complete metamorphosis occurred, most of which is open to the public.
So, Michael, now that we're here, you should be looking up.
I should be looking up,
Yeah.
because I can see through the slats and past the fluorescent lights that it just goes up and up and up. That is an extraordinary sight. However, the biggest surprise lies beneath our feet, where engineers excavated 24 meters below the building's historic foundations and installed 18 mobile platforms, each capable of lifting scenery on and off stage, which allows for dramatic changes of set between one act and the next. It's a miracle of machinery and of logistics. I mean, it's like a military operation, this, isn't it?
Yeah, I always say that the Teatro Real is a huge factory where magic happens.
Yeah, magic happens every night.
Every night and every day.
Beyond the backstage, there's still more to explore.
Maestro.
Amazing voice. Each floor reveals corridors full of workshops, studios, and rehearsal spaces. The Opera House is an extraordinary labyrinth. There are so many departments, and it looks like we're arriving at wardrobe by the looks of it.
Yes, that's right. That's where we are now.
On any given day, around 500 people work at the Teatro Real.
Because you're here, we've got a little surprise for you.
A surprise?
Yes. Because we want you to feel like one of the characters of our operas.
Oh.
You're going to try on one of these wigs.
Ooh. So now the Barber of Seville.
Look at that.
Oh, my goodness.
It comes straight from the 18th century, Michael.
I love that. Figaro, 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 Figaro.
Fantastic.
In recent years, Madrid has become a foodie's paradise, serving everything from classic local favourites to the latest international trends. What I've always loved about Spanish food is that although the cuisine is often simple, the quality of the ingredients is superb. 6 miles from the city centre is the suburb of Vallecas, not a place where you would expect to find a restaurant where tables are in hot demand. This afternoon, I've decided to check it out. I've just come on a €25 taxi ride from the centre for a place that's now highly recommended and which is located not in a smart district, but above a car dealership. Raúl and his brother opened Cardumen, which translates as shoal, in 2021. It became renowned amongst connoisseurs and celebrities drawn towards the catch of the day. Oh, Raúl, this is fantastic. So this is your restaurant, and yet you display the fish so beautifully. Before it opens for this evening's diners, there are some last-minute touches that I can help with. I'm obviously a bit nervous now, because apparently this all matters very much indeed. Let me try and make it as pretty as possible.
Sin tapar ningún pescado, se tienen que ver todos.
Nothing must be covered up. Everything must be visible. Muy bien. Very nice colours. I love the way the colours are working.
Atún.
Gracias. Oh, that weighs a ton.
Ay.
I'm going to display it with the large front facing the public.
Percebe.
And completing the display, a bowl of goosefoot barnacles from Galicia in northwest Spain. Ta-da! Now, the moment I've been waiting for. An afternoon feast with Raúl and his daughter Lucía, starting with a Spanish delicacy. Qué buen aspecto tiene todo. The white Huelva prawn. So these have been boiled.
Exactly. Just a few minutes ago.
Oh, delicious. Buenísima.
Buenísima.
For the main course, it's the chef's recommendation. Now, this is the first time I've eaten Viceroy.
What do you think, Michael?
I think it's a lovely fish. I think it's absolutely delicious. You're a long way from the centre of Madrid. How did it occur to you to do it here?
Bueno, puesto que la lonja la tenemos aquí detrás, y entonces es una cosa muy vistosa ver todo el pescado allí, por eso no quisimos trasladarlo al centro de Madrid.
There are some people coming here who've never set foot in this place before.
Humilde, es un barrio humilde. Pero cuando descubren Cardumen, disfrutan muchísimo.
Lucia, having a restaurant here and lots of smart people coming out here,
Yeah.
do you think it's changing the view of Vallecas?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think that's it's kind of the idea of Cardumen because it's like creating such a special space in an area that is not that known for having good restaurants. It's great.
It's been a busy day, and as the sun sets, I make my way back to the hotel. Here I hope to catch its last rays from the roof, overlooking this city that I love. I'm right in the heart of the city. There is an expression, de Madrid al cielo, and it doesn't just mean that you get these marvelous sunset skies. It also means that Madrid is next to heaven. In a metropolis that comes to life as the sun goes down, I think it would be remiss of me not to have a nightcap. The bar is crowded and busy tonight. It has a very illustrious history, but I am looking for somewhere a bit quieter. Indeed, a speakeasy. And having hunted high and low, there's only one possibility left. Down in the basement, a clandestine venue, inspired by the Prohibition era of the 1920s, has a most unusual entrance. Aha! Like Alice through the looking glass, I have come through the bathroom.
Welcome,
I have
sir.
found you. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
When it opened in the 1950s, this hotel was a popular haunt for politicians and writers, including an American literary legend who would become an adopted son of Spain. Now, is it true that Ernest Hemingway used to drink in this hotel?
Yeah, of course, sir. And this is our tribute to Ernest. The last time Hemingway stayed in Madrid to make a work for the Life magazine, stay in this hotel.
The author of For Whom the Bell Tolls, Hemingway came to Spain as a war correspondent in the 1930s. Known here as Don Ernesto, he fell in love with Spanish culture and developed a passion for the bullfight. A flawed character, Hemingway was famed for heavy drinking and certainly had more than one cocktail named after him.
This kind of Hemingway daiquiri is different around the world. Now we make it with grapefruit, rum, and maraschino liqueur. Ready.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy.
Well, Ernest Hemingway would now, I think, be quite a controversial figure.
Yeah.
He would be accused of machismo. But I will say one thing about Hemingway. He really loved Spain.
Yeah.
And if lots of people in the world today know a little bit about the sufferings of Spain during the Spanish Civil War, it's due to his writings. And so I'm very happy to raise my daiquiri to Ernest Hemingway.
Cheers.
It's the last day of my long weekend in Spain's largest city, Madrid. And there's so much still to pack in. I've lost count of how many times I've been to Madrid. Every time there's something new. And it's always busy, beautiful, and bustling. I can't wait to show you more. One of my earliest memories of Spain is being taken out on a rowing boat on this lake. At the time, I was 8 years old, and my parents had sent me to stay with family for a month to improve my Spanish. Coming to Spain was a bit of an adventure. It had a very hot climate, and it was different, even in Madrid. There were still horses and carriages and carts. so it felt very unusual to me. But my uncle and aunt and my cousins were in those days quite elegant. Women wore hats and coats and men wore ties and jackets. And so for me, Madrid is an extraordinary combination of exoticism and sophistication. 5 minutes walk from El Retiro Park is Madrid's golden triangle of art. The 3 museums here attract over 6 million visitors a year. You can revel in Spain's national art gallery, the 200-year-old Prado, or go modern at the Reina Sofia, just a short stroll away. But today we're heading to what was, second only to the British royal families, the largest private art collection in the world. The wonderful Thyssen-Bornemisza collection of art was put together over a couple of generations of a family of steel magnates. You see the name Thyssen on escalators and in lifts. And it grew to be 1,000 pieces of art spanning a millennium. And almost every great European artist of that period is represented in the collection, a remarkable example of what can be done with great wealth and great taste. Laid out over 4 floors, the museum opened in 1992 and is visited by over 1 million people a year. I have to admit that art is one of my things, and really it's difficult to think of anywhere that has so much joyful art on display as this wonderful city of Madrid. This collection, valued at £3.6 billion, contains works of art by most great European artists, such as Holbein and Van Gogh. Is it possible not to love Van Gogh? These great swirls of paint, thick, unmitigated joy. This comprehensive collection was started in the 1920s, and by the 1990s, Baron Thyssen sought a home where the public could enjoy it. Spain, France, Germany and Britain had the opportunity to bid for it. I was part of the government in London at the time. We were ideologically obsessed with pushing Docklands, and we offered the Baron a site out in the east of London. But Madrid offered the Villahermosa Palace, a beautiful 18th century building. And what's more, the Baron's wife, Carmen, is Spanish, and so Spain had an inside track. For a cut price £270 million, Madrid landed the extraordinary collection. The allure of London's Docklands just wasn't quite enough. It's almost lunchtime. But today I won't take you to one of Madrid's many gourmet restaurants. Instead, we'll be eating in the vibrant Malasaña district. This will be a distinctly modern Hispanic experience, where we'll be offered great food influenced by Spain's colonial past. Sara.
Oh, hello.
Soy Michael.
Encantado. Nice to meet you.
¿Qué tal? Buenos días.
Ciao, gracias.
Joining me for lunch is Sara, a journalist who moved here from Argentina with her family when she was a girl. We're in the very heart of Madrid, and suddenly it's very different because, unlike most of Madrid, this is very multi-ethnic. All sorts of people are here.
Yes, 80–90% of this market are Latin American people.
More than 3 million Latin Americans live in Spain, almost a third of them in Madrid. They're a legacy of centuries of Spanish colonial rule. We choose a cafe run by an old friend of Sara's from Ecuador.
Te presento a Michael.
Soy Michael Portillo.
Miguel Ángel, un placer. ¿Cómo estás?
Encantado.
Igualmente.
I've been hearing about your family.
Llevamos 20 años de cocina ecuatoriana en el mercado de los mostenses.
On the menu are dishes made with Ecuadorian staples: banana, peanuts, local fish, and yuca, which is a starchy alternative to the potato. Hola! What do we got here?
La yuca que tienes en el seco de pollo, que realmente... Luego tenemos una corvina del Mediterráneo.
Esa es la corvina.
La corvina. Es una sopa de pescado. En este caso tenemos un corviche, que es una masa de plátano con pasta de maní, que tiene relleno de pescado con camarón.
Muy bien explicado.
Muy bien explicado.
If I'm right, we've got fish in 3 of our dishes. We've got fish soup. Here we've got a corvina, which is like a large sea bass. And here we have a combination of fish and banana. I think I might try some fish soup.
Okay, wow, this looks amazing. Was it good?
Yeah, it's really nice. And actually, it's a bit like, you know, French bouillabaisse. There are large pieces of fish inside it. This would be a meal on its own, you know.
I have shrimp and yuca that I really love.
Show me the yuca.
It's like the potato mashed.
This is yuca as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a lovely combination of sweet and savory.
Yeah, this is for like 4 people, Michael. We will have to eat a lot to finish this.
Just to say thank you very much. Wonderful meal.
Muchísimas gracias por estar aquí. Esto es Ecuador.
Hasta luego, mira. Chao.
Perfect answer. Like many cities in Europe, Madrid has survived recent periods of turbulence and conflict. In the heart of the old town is the historic Puerta del Sol. The guides like to point out Kilometre Zero, the plaque which marks the geographical centre of Spain. I'm keen to get insights into the modern history of the city from Almudena, who gives walking tours exposing physical evidence of the past. Hello, Almudena.
Hello, Michael. Hello. Nice meeting you.
It's great to meet you. We're meeting in the Puerta del Sol, which is regarded as the centre of Spain. Why did we meet here?
Considering that this is the center of regional government, there is no mention of the Civil War. That particular chapter is completely forgotten.
No monument here to the Spanish Civil War. And presumably that is because it's still such a contentious subject. People still disagree about it.
Yes, it's considered better to forget about it. As a historian, I find that problematic.
The Spanish Civil War raged for 3 years between 1936 and 1939, between the Republicans, who supported the government, and General Franco's nationalists, who rose in rebellion. As a fiercely Republican stronghold, Madrid was the last city to fall to Franco, after being besieged and bombed for more than 2 years. With thousands of homes, buildings, and lives destroyed. The government of Madrid building survived, but not unscathed.
All of these marks?
Yes.
You see this is the explosive from artillery fired during the Spanish Civil War.
And this is quite unusual because there aren't many buildings left that have these marks on them.
That's correct. They have been restored apart from this one. This is one of the very few relics.
Has this been kept on purpose, do you think?
I think it is by accident. There is no plaque, there is no memory, there is nothing to help you interpret what this is.
A most unusual monument, but a monument by accident.
It is a monument by accident, indeed.
It's certainly true that the effects of the Civil War and General Franco's rule are still felt decades after they came to an end. I'm walking down memory lane. In fact, I'm going back 62 years. I was first sent to this neighbourhood, just north of the Royal Palace, by my parents when I was 8 years old. My Spanish father, Luis, had been in exile in England due to his opposition to General Francisco Franco. During my father's banishment, my British mother ensured that my brothers and I met our Spanish family and learned the language. In this block of flats, lived my father Luis's younger brother, Victor, and his wife and 8 children, my cousins. And I came to stay here first when I was 8 years old. The flat has a marvellous view over the Western Park, but the flat was very crowded and it was quite dilapidated in those days. My uncle Victor was a senior army officer in the Franco regime, and he had been on the opposite side from my father in the Civil War. When I arrived here aged 8, one of my little cousins, aged 2, came up to me and said, "Are you the one whose father is a communist?" Which my father was not, but it gave me an idea of the talk within that family. My memories of this flat are actually very happy ones, because although Luis and Victor were on opposite sides in the Spanish Civil War, I got on very well with this branch of the family. There must have been many families divided by the Spanish Civil War. I don't know how families have dealt with those strains, but my mother used to tell a story because Victor came over to England in the 1940s. My father hadn't seen him for years. Apparently my father and he rowed all night, and in the morning You're not filming. But in the morning, they gave each other a big hug. They were a good lot, these cousins. They were very lively and they were very urban, which of course I enjoyed even at that time. During my teenage years, we would hit the town. The main activity was going to discotheques, not something I was used to doing in London. So even though I was here in Spain during a period of dictatorial and Catholic Church repression, I associate Madrid with great teenage liberty. And even today, I don't like to come through Madrid without sending a WhatsApp message and saying, "Is anyone around for a spot of lunch?" And certainly the next time that I'm here, I'll be organising another family reunion. Sadly, our long weekend in Madrid is drawing to a close. There's just time to enjoy the late afternoon sunshine back in the city centre greenery of the Retiro Park. I'm aware that I've been recommending to you that you be busy, that you go to this gallery and that palace and eat in such and such a place. But of course, in Madrid, it's perfectly possible to do nothing, to sit with a glass of sparkling water or a coffee and watch the world go by. So stay with me a moment. Let's do some people watching. Every time I come here, I discover something new. And being for me a short hop away from home, it's a great place to visit for a long weekend. Somewhere that I guarantee you'll leave wanting more.